Hello everyone, this is Kunal Anand and I welcome you to my YouTube channel Learn with Kunal. Before proceeding further, let me introduce myself. I am working at Kalinga Institute of Industrial Technology, deemed to be University Bhubaneswar, as a faculty member in School of Computer Science and Engineering. The purpose of this YouTube channel is to share short video lectures over different topics from computer science field. Hence, I request you to like and subscribe my channel, and please do not forget to click on the notification icon so that you get informed about my new video lecture as and when it will be uploaded. In this lecture series, I'll be talking about software engineering subject, and for today, the topic is software development lifecycle. So before starting with the software development lifecycle, let me talk briefly about what exactly is a life cycle. In simple terms, if you will take the example of a human life, then when we take birth and up to the day when we will die, this entire timeline is considered as the life cycle. The day when we took birth and the day when we will die, in between these two timelines, whatever it is, that is considered as life cycle. During our life cycle, we go through different stages. Now, if we will take this analogy to the software product, then software product also goes through different stages during its life cycle. So like I said, for human being or any other living creature, we take birth and then on some day we die. That difference between these two timelines, that is considered as the life cycle. In terms of software product, the day when the software product was initiated, or you can say conceptualized, that date of initiation from the last useful day, that is in this timeline difference, that is considered as the lifeline for the software product. So when the product was, the idea was initiated, then after it was developed, at some point of time, it will start the uses. And when the last useful day of the product happens, means after that day, the product will be retired. So from the date of initiation up to the last day of use, in between this, whatever the timeline is, that is considered as the life cycle of the software product. Now we will discuss about why software life cycle model is important, because when we are talking about software development, let me share the screen here so that you can see the things what we will be discussing. As you can see, I'm using the Zoom platform for that, and for writing purpose we'll be using the Google Jamboard. So I was talking about software development life cycle. So in software development life cycle, first of all, we will see what is software development life cycle. Then after we will see why life cycle is important. And finally, we will see what are the different stages of software development activities in the life cycle model. So we will talk about different stages. And since it is a large topic, so it may be possible in this video, we may not be able to complete all the activities. So we will divide it into video lecture series, and that's not a problem. So moving further to the very first thing, what is software development lifecycle? The very first question what we have to answer is, what is software development lifecycle? The answer to this question is, if I will go with the answer to this question, then software development lifecycle is a series of activities during which the software product is developed. As I said that the product idea will be initiated, then after the product undergoes through different stages, different activities, then it is developed. After that, it is delivered to the client. The client starts to use the product. And after some years, depending on the lifetime of the product, how much lifetime is given to the product for the successful use. After that, on one day, the product will be retired. And then after we can say that the software product is completely out of use. So we can say that the life cycle of the product is completed there. So we were talking about what is software development life cycle. Software development cycle is explanation of different activities, different stages under a software product goes through during its development. Then after the second thing, what we have taken here, the second thing we want to know why software development life cycle is important. Why software development life cycle is important? A question arises here. Can't we develop a software without following a life cycle model? The answer is yes, obviously we can do that. But if we will develop a software product without using the life cycle model, then obviously we will face some problems. So before going to those problems, we need to understand that why this software development life cycle is important. This is important because it tells us about the different stages a software product undergoes, different activities that is being carried out when we are talking about software development, and most important thing, when we talk about a software, the point is how to develop the software. What should be the approach to develop a software? Is it like that we can develop a software like just like a random program? The answer is no. Software is not a small program. It is a collection of large programs. It is a collection of different applications, different functionalities. So if we are developing a software product without a proper framework, without a proper development strategy, then in all possibility, the product will be either failed, or if it is developed, then the quality of the product will be very poor. So to guarantee a good quality and reliable software product, we require proper planning. We require a suitable mechanism in place which can ensure that a software development goes through quality process, and when at the end we receive the product is a good quality and reliable one. So to ensure all those things, we need to understand what are the different stages, what are the different activities that is carried out during the software development process. So for that purpose, software development lifecycle is important. Now moving towards the third thing and the major part of the discussion, what are the different stages, or you can say what are the different activities being carried out during the software development. This is our major discussion here. And guys, at this point, I must clarify whatever I am discussing here, that is a very brief explanation about these things. To get the detailed idea about these activities, these topics, you need to go through the textbook as per your choice, as per the convenience, as per the availability, to get the more detailed explanation of all this. So here itself, once again, I clarify, I'm just roughly explaining what are the different activities which are needed when we go for a software development activity. So let us proceed further. The very first activity what we take during the software development is feasibility study. And actually, I will correct little bit myself. Feasibility study is not the part of software development, but still it is considered as one of the activity in software development life cycle. Why it is like that? Because feasibility study, here we will think about whether we should develop the project or not. Because every project is not a doable project. Every project is not a beneficial one, not a feasible one. So a client comes with a request. As a developer, we need to analyze first whether we should accept the project or not. So on what basis we will take the decision? We have to take a decision whether to accept or politely refuse. So how we will take the decision? The answer is based on this feasibility study. Based on the feasibility study, we will take the decision. Now, when we are talking about feasibility study, there are different parameters, different criteria based on which the feasibility study is carried out. So the criteria is, the very first criteria is economical feasibility. When we are talking about feasibility study, the very first thing is we should think about economical feasibility. So what is economical feasibility? When a project idea comes to us as a developer, we need to think about, if we develop the project, is it a profitable one? Will we be able to make some profit, or we will land in some financial trouble? So you will not accept any project which will go towards loss. If you find any project which is not economically feasible, then you will politely refuse. You will say no to the client. It's not a problem. So economical feasibility, the very first thing what we check is whether the project is a doable project or not. That's it. Then the second criteria of feasibility study is operational feasibility. Operational feasibility. Now here the question is, why you are developing this product? Because somebody asked you to do that. Very simple answer. So when somebody asks you to develop a product, they require the product to solve some problem. They are facing some issues. To solve those problems, they have requested you to develop the product. Now you will provide them solutions. As a developer, you will provide the solutions to them. What about the solution what you have given to them? That is the best solution you could think of, but the solution is not able to solve the problem. Then what product you have developed? Is it a good product? The answer is no. Why? Because the client had some problem to solve. The solution what you provided to them, that solution is not going to solve their problem. So operationally, the product is of no use. You have developed a product which is basically not operational because it is not going to solve any problem. Then why somebody will implement that solution? So that is another thing what you need to look at. Our product should be operational, which means if we will apply the solution to the given problem, then we should be able to get the outcome. That is the operational feasibility. Third one is technical feasibility. Now, technical feasibility is something when you have got a product to develop, the idea is there, you will develop the product with the help of some technology, some people, some resources which are available to you, which actually exist. So by the existing technologies, with the help of existing resources, will you be able to develop the product? Suppose the product requires some sophisticated software, sophisticated equipments, technologies which you do not have, and you cannot afford to purchase them because it is too costly. Or it may be possible that whatever technologies are available in the market, it's not possible to develop the product using those technologies. So in that scenario, what you will do? You will again politely say no. Why? Because on technical grounds, the development is not feasible. So that is the third criteria. Fourth criteria of feasibility study is legal feasibility. Now, legal feasibility is something when you are developing a software product, you should be very much careful due to the development process, due to the product what you are going to deliver, the law of the land should not be violated. You have to consider that part at your location as well as at the client location. The law of the land should not be violated because of the product what you are going to develop. If the developed product violates any law, then it will be banned by the respective governments and the product is of no use because it is banned. Nobody can use that product. So you will also look into the legal aspect of the development. That is the reason every IT industry, every IT company, they have a separate legal cell. They will look into the legal feasibility apart from the other legal stuff. They also look into the legality of the software product because client can ask anything. It's your responsibility to find out whether you should do it or not. That is the legal one. Due to lack of space, I am writing here. The last one is scheduling. The last one is scheduling. So based on scheduling, how we are deciding the feasibility. Suppose the client wants the product in 6 months of time. Client came to you, they ask you that we need to develop a product. You need to develop a product for our problem, and we need the product in 6 months of time. When you analyze their proposal, you found that it will take minimum 1 year to develop. Now, will you make a commitment to your client that yes, we will deliver in 6 months? You know that it will take 1 year of time. Will you make a commitment of 6 months? The answer is no. Any wise manager will not take this decision. The answer is no, because you clearly know that you cannot deliver in 6 months. Then why you will make a commitment of that? So scheduling is also important. Customer can have any demand, but it is your responsibility to check whether that demand can be fulfilled or not. So if you find the product feasible in terms of delivery schedule, then only you can say that the product is feasible. Otherwise, it is not feasible. So the parameters, what I have discussed here: economical feasibility, operational feasibility, technical feasibility, legal feasibility, and scheduling. When all these parameters satisfies, means they are okay, then you will say that okay, we will accept the product, we will accept the project, we will develop and deliver it. Then after the rest of the terms and conditions and the other things are decided between the client and developer, they sit together, they had series of meetings, and then after they agree upon a particular schedule, particular contract, and then the development process goes on. So the very first activity, feasibility study, you will decide whether the project should be accepted or not. Moving towards the next activity of software development, that is requirement analysis and specification. Somewhere I am writing in short just to make the things easier for me. Please bear with this. I'll be telling the full forms, but while writing, I may be writing in short form. So requirement analysis and specification. Now the very first question, when we will start this phase? When we will start this phase? The answer is when your feasibility study says yes. Feasibility study says yes, everything is fine. On every parameter, the product is feasible. Then you can start the next activity. And what is the next activity? Requirement analysis and specification. So the rest of the development process is initiated only when the feasibility report says yes. If the feasibility says no, then you will stop there itself. Politely refuse to the client, the discussion over, no further talks on the product, move to the next project. That's it. So when you decided that your project is feasible, you can do it, then after you will start requirement analysis and specification phase. Now from here, the actual development starts. Now in this phase, actually there are 2 activities. In fact, 3 activities, but broadly it is referred as 2. The first one is requirement analysis, and second one is requirement specification. That's why the activity name is requirement analysis and specification. Now, as I said, there are actually 3 activities. Requirement analysis is further divided in 2 activities. One is called requirement gathering, and another one is called requirement analysis. So basically there are 3 steps: gathering, analysis, and the last one is specification. So what is requirement gathering? Now listen to this carefully. Requirement gathering means when you agreed upon to do the project, then you have to take the requirements from the client, what actually they want. And for that purpose, what you will do, you will talk to all the possible users of the product. Who are the possible users? All the possible users, every type of user. You need to talk to them. You need to collect their requirement, whatever they have in their mind. You just collect that requirement. Don't apply your brain from your side. You just note it down, whatever they are saying, irrespective of whether it is correct or not, whether it is possible or not. You just note it down, whatever they say. So when you are only collecting the requirements, then that is called requirement gathering. That is called requirement gathering. There are different ways of requirement gathering. You can do one-to-one meeting, you can do group interviews, you can go for a seminar or hands-on, you can pass on a questionnaire to them, they will answer, fill up the form, submit it to you. So there are several ways of requirement gathering. You can do that and you can collect the requirement. Once your requirement gathering is complete, then you will do the requirement analysis. Then you will do the requirement analysis. Requirement analysis is performed to cross-check the requirements given by the users to see whether those requirements are in proper form or not. Why? Because the user may be a technical person, user may be a non-technical person. Many a time it happens that even the users are not sure what exactly they want. They have a rough idea in their mind, but they are not sure about the detailed clarity they don't have. So what will happen? When you collected the requirements from the users during the requirement gathering phase, the users told you a lot of things. I told you that don't apply your brain in the gathering part. To apply your brain, you have a separate activity, analysis. Now here you apply all your knowledge, all your skill set, all your brain, whatever you want to apply, you do. And try to solve the problems. What are the problems? Basically, you will get three type of problem. The requirement may be incomplete. The requirement may be inconsistent, and the requirement can be ambiguous. So basically, these are the three problems which usually happen when the user tells the requirement. The requirement can be incomplete, it can be inconsistent, it can be ambiguous. Now what they mean? Incomplete means user has said half of the thing and then after they did not say anything. It's not like that they did not want to say. They even don't know what they want. So incomplete requirement. They don't have that much of clarity. This is one problem. Inconsistent requirement means at one place the requirement is different, another place the requirement change. The same scenario, but now it is changing. That is called contradictions. One user, they want a particular requirement. Another user in the same scenario, they want a different requirement. So what will happen? These two requirements are contradicting and it's not possible to complete both of them. Either you can follow one requirement, you can follow another requirement, because in the given scenario, you cannot develop both. You can develop only one. So in that case, there is a problem that is called contradiction. The third one is ambiguous. Ambiguous means the users have told the requirement in such a language that interpretation can be different. When they said the requirement, they had something in their mind, their context was different. When you noted the requirement, there was something in your mind, you understood something different and you noted in different context. The story begins here itself. They had something in their mind, you understood something different and you noted accordingly. Now the same requirement will go to the design, it will go to the programming. So obviously things will go wrong. So you need to cross-check with the requirements during the analysis phase and try to resolve some problem. The problem is incompleteness. How you will resolve? Very simple. The user who has given this requirement, talk to that user, make some meetings with them, help them to reach towards better clarity so that they will know what exactly they need. And once the user is clear, you can also get more clarity. Inconsistent requirements. I told you there are contradictions. So in that case, what you will do? Contradictions means there are two users and both user requirement is contradicting from each other. In that case, what you will do? Talk to both the users, try to make them realize that both the requirements are not possible in the same scenario. Either we can follow one or we can follow the another one, but we cannot do both. Try to make them understand and help them to come towards a mutual requirement, to reach to a mutual point which is acceptable to both the users. And once they agree upon a mutual requirement, now that requirement you can note it down and you can proceed further. So inconsistent requirement you can solve in this manner. Ambiguous is something you need to write the requirement in such a manner that there should not be multiple interpretations. When you have some doubt in your mind, better to talk to the respective user and clarify your doubt. Just like the student do not ask questions inside the classroom. So what is happening there? They have doubt in their mind, but they don't ask the question, and that ambiguity increases. Same logic applies in software development also. If you have somewhere doubt in your mind regarding any requirement, you immediately talk to the corresponding user, try to clarify, and then note the requirement in a clear manner. So these are the three problems you try to solve during requirement analysis. And the people, those who do the job of requirement analysis, they are referred as analyst. They are referred as analyst. It can be system analyst, it can be business analyst. There are different terminologies available. We will not get inside that. Moving further to the last activity in requirement analysis and specification phase, that is your requirement specification. So once you have completed the analysis, now what you will do, you will write the requirements in a organized manner, in a proper form, in a prescribed format, and you will prepare a document. That document is called SRS document. The full form is Software Requirement Specification Document. So once your analysis is over, then after you will write SRS document. The SRS details we will discuss when we will move to that discussion, that topic, when we will go how to prepare the SRS, what are the components of the SRS, then there are certain things to discuss there. So at this point of time, I'm not going inside the details of SRS. Here only I will tell you one thing, that you can consider SRS as a legal contract between the developers and the client. Legal contract. The word legal is important here. So once your analysis is complete, you write everything in a proper form. That document is called SRS document. Once you complete the SRS, you give the SRS to the client, take their feedback. Once the client is satisfied with your SRS, they will approve the SRS, and just give me a second. So the SRS will be approved by the client. Once the client approves the SRS, they will keep one copy to themselves, another copy will be given to you, and the rest of the process begins. So that completes your requirement specification phase. SRS is prepared and reviewed by the client. Always remember, till the time your client does not approve the SRS, do not start the next process. If you will start, that will be like doing at your own risk. So till the time SRS is not approved by the client, you have to wait. Once the client approves the SRS, you can go ahead with the next stage, that is called design. So how we can say that requirement as specification and analysis phase is complete? The answer is the reviewed and approved SRS document. As a project manager, if you want to check whether this activity is completed or not, you can just ask your analysis team, have you prepared the SRS? If the answer is yes, did you get the approval for the SRS? If the answer is yes, it means requirement analysis part is over, specification is complete. You can start with the next phase of development, that is called design phase. So that part we will discuss in our next lecture. The design phase and the rest of the activities we will discuss in our next lecture. Here we stop. Today we stop here itself. See you in the next lecture. We will continue the discussion on the rest of the activities in software development process. I hope you will enjoy this video lecture and you will continue with this lecture series. Once again, I request please like and subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to click on the notification icon so that whenever I upload a video lecture on the YouTube, you will be getting benefited from. Thank you for your patient listening. See you in the next lecture based on the rest of the activities of software development. I am closing the session now. Thank you.